On the next all-new episode of Rooster Fighter.
What are you doing? Get out of here right now and get to safety!
Why are you doing this, though? You're clearly a demon, aren't you?
Well, I guess I want to save all the townsfolk!
You want to save humans?
Rooster Fighter. Next Saturday at midnight.
I guess good demons really do exist.
Only Toonami on Adult Swim.
Stay out of my way!
You can't run forever!
On the next all-new episode of Dawn to Dawn.
If you think you can treat the Great Serpent like a joke, you got another thing coming!
Dawn to Dawn. Next Saturday at 12:30 a.m. Only Toonami on Adult Swim.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to our podcast. We're Toonami Therapy. It's April 7th of 2026. I'm Michael.
Yeah, hello, I'm Tommy.
And that's it. Here we are on episode 450, which is a notable number, but not notable enough for us to actually do anything special. Maybe we'll try something on episode 500 in about a year.
Yeah.
Okay. So, with all that, it's just the beginning. So I guess I don't think there's anything news to talk about. So I guess we can just jump right into the Toonami series that we've been watching. Okay. So we've got Rooster Fighter episode 4. In this episode, so yes, they managed to rescue what's even its name? Her name again? The chick. I had it right there.
Elizabeth?
No, the young one.
Oh,
it starts
Pyoko?
with a P. Pyoko, that's it. Yeah, that happens. Then they encounter some cats. You and I spent a bunch of time wondering, hey, have we heard that cat's voice before? And they finally put up who did it. And I looked it up like, nope, this is no one we have heard before. So there's that. Anyway, basically, they have to go fight one of the demons. Keiji isn't interested, but then he, I don't know what the term is. For chickens, is it going to heat or something? I don't know if that's just horses and other things, but anyway, so then Elizabeth, because, and so, yeah, if you were thinking, oh man, I sure hope we avoid we're done with those rooster sex jokes. No. Although, unlike before, it doesn't actually happen or anything, because Elizabeth basically says, oh, sure, I'll help you out if you help us out. And then they do, and she said, yeah, but I don't like you, so never mind. And then he gets depressed. And that's basically the end of it.
Yeah, a interesting episode. Not really the greatest episode, but not a bad one either. So far, this show has been at least above average, I'd say. So I'm trying to, right now I'd probably give it a 6 out of 10 if I had to rate it right now. So it would be above average, but yeah, it still has a ways to go, especially in the humor department. Like, can we stop having these chicken sex jokes and start having some funnier things, and I don't want the show to get too serious, though. I don't want there to become a point where it's super, super serious, because it just wouldn't work with this. So yeah, I don't know what I'm saying here. It was a pretty good episode.
I honestly feel like the jokes about like it's like chickens mating in this episode and stuff would have actually been funnier if not for the fact this is like they've gone to this well multiple times before. If this was the first time, I think it would have actually been it would have been funnier.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we get that. And yeah, there is some more serious stuff in this episode, I guess, where we're like, oh yeah, the demon, there's a whole lot of stuff about gambling debts and all that kind of things and stuff, which I guess I kind of skipped over. I was focusing on the overall plot. But yeah, the series can have some funny bits and it's decent. It's just like, I don't know, it just feels like there's some bits that just don't work as well. So yeah. Okay. Which we're on to Don episode 14. So we find out the reason that, Momo and Okarun were acting weird is that the evil eye's power or whatever was or something. No. The evil eye was a separate spirit, wasn't it? Or was it the same? No, right. The Death Worm was making that, and then there's another one that's called Evil Eye, who we get a flashback about. It being killed and it spending time with other people, and then it's possesses Gigi, and then so now he's a threat, and they're having to fight him, and he's also just in his underwear for some reason. By the way, the kid was also we saw a bunch of them just in their underwear, so I guess the author really wanted to draw guys in their underwear in this episode. So, and yeah, that's basically that's basically it on the whole. So
Yeah, a little downgrade from last week. Last week I thought was one of the best episodes. This week, not so great, but at least it's still pretty entertaining.
yeah, I haven't seen this much of a guy going around fighting in his underwear since we watched Sanda. Oh, I just
Oh
hope
my.
Gigi isn't just going to randomly like just take off his underwear for no reason, and then we'll just have a fight with him completely naked. Because that happened in Sanda. I still don't know why he just takes it off in that fight. It's so random and weird.
Yeah, that was weird.
I mean, I guess Raku goes around running like but like no, he's wearing shorts. That's not really underwear.
Yeah.
So yeah, just kind of weird. I don't know. Maybe the author was like thinking, we had all this fan service with Momo. We need to be more equal opportunity, but it still felt very weird. Okay. So yeah. All right. We move on to Blue Lock episode 9.
Okay, so it's the big game. They gotta win in order to stay in it. And what do? Well, they fall into a big hole, 3-0 hole, 3-0 hole, I should say. I need to be a soccer fan here. So they're down 3-0, and then they have one of those moments where they just decide, hey, we're the main characters. We can't lose this. The main characters on our team, see, we can't lose this thing. So all of a sudden, they start playing better, and they're back in the game, and we get a pretty good introduction. Another good episode on Rayo and Nagi, and but Team Z is coming back and making a run for it, and they have a chance still at winning this game and staying in it. But remember, they cannot get a draw because a draw would not give them enough points to stay in the competition. So, yeah, I think they're down by 1 still. So they need a miracle at this point, and we'll see if they get it.
Okay, and Actually, quick question. First, can you hear that noise in the background? My
No,
background.
I can't. I can't.
You can't hear it?
I can't
Okay,
hear
okay.
it.
All right, then I won't have to worry about turning it off. Okay. So, yeah, we got that. Yeah, this was a pretty solid episode of Blue Lock, much like
Mhm.
usual. I will say
Yep.
the comeback seemed kind of abrupt, really. I mean, I'm not
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I because I'm not like an expert on soccer, but if you're 0-3, isn't that like really behind and they managed to make it up
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
before halftime?
Oh, that is a huge deficit. Like I think in World Cup history, there has never been a comeback from more than 2 goals down to win a game. So, so coming back from now 3 goals down, that's just unheard of in soccer because soccer is such a defensive sport.
Yeah.
So, uh, yeah,
Yeah, it's a sport that's so known for, people not scoring much during a match.
yeah.
That's what I've definitely heard a bunch of people kind of criticize. They just like run around with the ball so much and score, and like goals aren't that common.
Nope.
Okay. So, yeah, I don't think I have much else to really say about it. Yeah, we're going through this stuff fast. Maybe it's because we started recording a bit later, so we're subconsciously trying to
Yeah.
do stuff faster.
Yeah, I'm not
Okay.
meaning to.
Yeah, that's why I said subconsciously. So, all right, episode 9 of Tokyo Revengers. So, right. So Takemichi, I guess, gets his like what his morale up, because remember when I said the beatings will continue until morale improves? I don't think he got beat up in this episode, did he?
Yeah. No, not really.
So yeah, that's the key. He just needs to believe in himself, and he won't get beaten up. But a whole bunch of other people do get beaten up because the episode is mostly just a big brawl between the two, between like are they different gangs, or are they just like dissident groups in the same gang? I can't keep track of all like the gang
Oh, I can't.
rule stuff.
Yeah. I can't keep track of the gang stuff either. It's so confusing.
Yeah, but there's basically a big brawl, and there's a bunch of stuff that happens, and yeah, Takemichi does not get beaten up, although he does find out that Draken got. Is it beaten up if you're stabbed and are bleeding? I don't know. I kind of always thought beaten up implies more like, blunt force, not, stabbing. So Takemichi did not get beaten up this episode, thus ending for now that running joke.
Yeah, this show continues to be by a wide margin my least favorite Toonami show that we're watching right now. Not my least favorite show ever, but it could get there. It could get there. Um, yeah, it's just I'm not interested in this gang stuff, and I guess that's what this show is all about, the gangs and stuff. But um, to me, that doesn't appeal to me very much. I was hoping for some sort of, you know, time travel thriller type of thing, but instead we're just getting these battles between uh of different rival gangs and people getting beaten up all the time,
Mhm.
whether it's the main character or whether it's other characters. So yeah, I don't know if Tokyo Revengers is ever gonna win my best Toonami show of the week. Since it hasn't managed to do it and spoiler alert, it will not do so this week either. So, uh, yeah.
I'm curious so far though, because I mean I don't really like the show. I don't think I dislike it as much as you, but is it the least favorite thing that's aired on Toonami that you've watched, or is there something, or are other thing, or is it not quite there yet?
No, it's not quite there yet.
Okay.
There's other shows like Dimension W or Gundam Unicorn. That's like
Well, is
you
it
would. I think you would think it was Michiko and Hatchin, but like Michiko and Hatchin at least was entertaining, even though it wasn't really interesting. At least it was entertaining, and
was it I thought your least favorite would have been either Zom 100 or Tokyo Ghoul. The other
well,
series with Tokyo in the title.
well, that's because I blocked them out of my memory, and that's why I couldn't remember. I couldn't remember to tell me right now because they're so blocked out of my memory that I couldn't even come up with them. So yeah, those two would be the worst, definitely.
Yeah, because Tokyo Ghoul, like it's a combination of these other two shows you don't like. You know, it's got ghouls, that's kind of like zombies, and it's got Tokyo in the title, like Tokyo Revengers. See, it's just like a combination of them. Uh, uh, yeah, I don't think you're in the minority on Tokyo Ghoul. I think pretty much that anime was not very well received, even by like people who liked the manga, because it did kind of deviate from it. Was
And then
the
that's square root of something. That one was even worse, I heard.
Oh yeah, Tokyo Ghoul Rudave. That was the second season. That was
Uh-huh.
how much? I'm just checking. What did my anime list have for them? Man, where's like the actual Tokyo Ghoul? I'm seeing all like these spin-offs, but I'm having trouble finding the actual Tokyo. Oh, here it is. Tokyo. Oh wow, that was actually decently ranked. It was Rudave that was a big drop. I do think I do remember liking the manga more than the anime, but yeah, Rudave, it just kind of went crazy. I still think it's funny that it went for the filler ending. So much of the final episode is just based on is just people reacting to the death of this character who didn't even die in the manga. Memories. So I guess that's all we've got there. Talking about other series. What would I asked you? I need to think. What would my least favorite Toonami series that we watched? Man, it's probably something I've forgotten. Dimension W was definitely not very good, but it was, I don't know, it didn't really annoy me so much as it confused me. I
I'd
kind of
have
the
to go
fact
back into our rankings and see.
the fact it was I think I probably would have to pick Dimension W just because it's the one that I have the fewest memories of. I need to actually double check. I feel like the author made a different series that I actually thought was better. So let me just double check. Yeah. Oh, they made the manga Clavitas. I saw the anime of that. It was okay. Like wasn't amazing. I wasn't like a big fan, but it had some stuff in there I liked. So I don't know if you would. It was kind of violent, but at some points, but it was at least decent. So yeah, okay, that was what I was thinking of. Then again, I only watched the anime. Maybe the Dimension W anime was like a bad adaptation of the manga. I don't want to judge it. So okay, moving on from that, we've gotten One Piece episode 771. All right, so they decide to band together to defeat Kaido. I just described the entire episode. That's basically all that happened outside of a whole bunch of flashbacks.
And Luffy first refusing and then agreeing to.
Yeah, basically that's the thing. He says no, and then he changes his mind. That was like the big thing in the episode. Okay. So let's see. Sorry, I'm just glancing over something. Oh yeah, I was looking over something. I was just looking up something on Dimension W. It looked like the anime actually skipped over a whole bunch of stuff from the manga, which might explain why it kind of felt disjointed. So, from what I barely remember about it, so yeah, I'm nothing I said against the anime should be considered a criticism of the manga because I never read it. Okay, but back to One Piece. Yeah, that's yeah. Anything else to add? Because that's basically all that happened.
Yeah, this was a very difficult episode to watch. It was just slow and so boring and so predictable. Yeah, it was everything bad about One Piece, though I kind of enjoyed it a little bit more than Tokyo Revengers, so I'll give it that.
Okay. All right. That's Toonami stuff. Then we'll move on to Yu Yu Hakusho. We've got episodes 104 and 105. So basically, Yusuke meets with Yomi, and his proposal is, well, I think that people aren't really liking this arc as much as previous ones, but they really like the Dark Tournament arc. How about we just do that again? And so he suggests they decide who becomes like in charge of all of Demon World to just have a tournament. And then he agrees. We also then find out, oh yeah, there's a bunch of, well, we thought it might just be these three guys that matter, but nope, there turns out there's a bunch of other really powerful guys who are entering. So who knows? Maybe someone else could win, especially if someone gets matched up against someone strong or something. So we get that, and we start on the tournament. And so they draw lots, which by the way, there's like an audience how many? They said there's like 6,272 entries, and they all go up to the thing one by one to get like numbers to decide who they're fighting against. That would have taken forever, I think. And the audience is just there and they're all excited to watch like that. Maybe they split it up. I don't know. But then everyone does that. What do you know? All the important characters advance, except for that, what was his name? Chu, the drunkard guy. He loses. So there's that. And yeah, that's basically the episode. We're mostly done with the preliminary stuff there. Also, what's their name again? Kodo. Kodo is back. You know, the announcer from the Dark Tournament. She's the announcer again. She was fun. Yep. I liked her.
Yeah, that was great seeing her again.
So, even if it is just a case of them just redoing the Dark Tournament and bringing back another tournament arc, I thought it was actually I thought it was actually, especially the second episode, pretty decent. There were a lot of funny jokes here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I was enjoying a lot of it too, especially Kodo being back. I got spoiled that she was going to be back by myself, but like I watched the first episode and then I accidentally clicked halfway through the second episode and she was on screen and I'm like, all right, this is going to be fun. So I noticed they're all wearing those numbers very much like they did for the Hunter exam. So I'm like, okay, this is where he got that from. He came up, Togashi came up with the idea for the numbers for the Hunter's exam by these numbers for this tournament that they're all wearing. So, yeah, he knows how to do a good tournament, that's for sure. He's very good at the tournament arcs. So, yeah. Unfortunately, we don't have a Kurapika in this show, but
Well, there's
Yeah,
Kurama.
yeah, you're right. You're right. Yeah, it's a pretty good show. Yeah, a pretty good episodes. I mean, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I was thinking, oh yeah, this is a lot more fun. So yeah, that was all good. It's interesting. I when you're talking about him doing tournaments, and I was thinking, well, there wasn't really that much of one in Hunter outside of like what was it, the Tower of Heaven, Tower of God, something
Yeah,
like that.
Heaven's Tower or something like that.
But then I was kind of thinking, even if it's nominally an exam arc, the Hunter exam really felt more like a bunch of like kind of mini tournament arcs in a way.
Yeah, that's what I meant by that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, I don't have anything else to add about that. So we'll go on to Gnosia, episode 19.
Okay, well, yeah. So Yuri is absolutely obsessed with Setsu now, and um, this is basically just all Yuri cares about now is Setsu, 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 and the entire episode is Yuri going around looking for Setsu and trying to get hints and stuff, and doing something with the silver key and all that. And yeah, it's just all about Setsu, and it's like an obsession, and it's like you do realize that you survived the whole Gnosia thing, so why don't you just move on? But uh, I guess Yuri must have some sort of enormous crush on Setsu, which is um, something I don't even know if Setsu would approve of, given her, or not her, given their identity. And I don't even know if Setsu would want Yuri. So it makes it kind of weird that Yuri's got this obsession with Setsu, and because they aren't anywhere to be found. And yeah, that's about it.
Hmm. Yeah, this episode was just, I guess, starting up the final thing where Yuri thinking about trying to get back to Setsu. I think it made more sense because Setsu, was someone Yuri drew close to, and is apparently, if Rakio's supposition was correct, just going to be stuck in the loops permanently now. So Yuri wants to try to find some way to get them out. Honestly, the one thing I really liked about this episode is that after what number 18 episodes of them being on the ship, the cast are in a different location now. After just 18 episodes of them all being in the ship, it's making me think, oh, we're seeing them in different contexts. This is kind of cool. Now maybe we don't get it resolved until now, but I'm still thinking, okay, are we going to get the explanation as to why Kukrushka went crazy and killed everyone in that loop? Like, or did we already get it? Were we just supposed to assume? Was I supposed to piece some stuff together that I missed? So but maybe it will be explained in the remaining 2 episodes. But I'm just curious about it because it felt weird they had that, and so far, I hope they. I don't want to go too much about it. Maybe it will. Maybe next episode, Kukrushka will come up and say, "Oh, by the way, Yuri, I just want to explain why I went crazy and killed everyone in that loop." So we'll see there. But setting that aside, I thought it was a decent episode, maybe a little stretched out, but for the most part, fun. Okay. Then we've got, yes, we're back to it now. We've got My Hero Academia Vigilantes, episode 24. So we get the Captain Celebrity flashback about how he met his wife, and which is sign that he's got a pretty high chance of dying, but maybe he'll survive. Basically, what happens is while he's trying to hold up the dome, Koichi tries to help him by, firing stuff at the enemy to slow it down. Then a bunch of the heroes do show up and they manage to help them, and it seems all good, except then Captain Celebrity falls. Koichi then falls after him to try to stop him. I'm not sure how Koichi was able to fall faster than Captain Celebrity, especially considering Captain Celebrity had at least several seconds head start, but that, I guess, is apparently enough to make Captain Celebrity realize, oh, I guess I do actually have some powers, but I'm still not completely spent and can use my powers to protect you at least. So that was a little weird, but then the bad guy decides, well, we can't end it like that. We still got 2 episodes this season. So he decides to apparently just blow. He uses the thing to blow up and then causes the support thing of the building to blow up, it looks like. So I guess we'll see what happens there.
Mm-hmm. How many episodes left?
2.
Okay. So this ends at the same time as Gnosia, right?
Yes.
Okay. Sounds interesting. This episode, though, I was not a big fan of. I don't know. I just feel like this second season, the entire season, has been a total departure from the first season. Like, the first season was about Koichi trying to make it as an unofficial hero, and Pop Step and him and their relationship with each other, and those two, their relationship to Knuckle Duster. And, it had a pretty coherent plot, and it made a lot of sense. But now it's all about all these other characters, and it's all about, well, we really need to foreshadow things from the original My Hero Academia, so we need to have more and more of the original characters there. But this episode was not all that interesting to me, and hopefully Knuckle Duster shows up so he can make this season go out with a bang. Is there going to be any other seasons of this, or is this going to be it?
There's going to be more after. There's more of the manga after this. I am not sure if they've announced a 3rd season. Let me take a quick look and see if I can find out. Let's see. Okay, Vigilantes. Oh, wait. Hang on. Let's see. Is there? Okay. I don't think there's an announcement of a 3rd season, but there is more in the manga.
Okay.
I can double check. Let's see, to see if I can make a guess as to let's see how far. Let me just see. Okay, so season 2 went through, let's see, 67 chapters. The manga is 126, so we will probably have 2 more seasons of this until it gets to the end.
Okay. Sounds good. I hope they spend more time on those characters instead of like on Eraserhead and all that stuff. And yeah.
Yeah, what I find weird this stuff with Captain Celebrity in these last few episodes, it feels like a major sort of retcon, because in the first season he was like portrayed as just kind of being an egotistical hero who just caused who caused trouble for people. And then this season it's like just trying to say, no, he's actually a really nice guy. All that scandal stuff was actually, people making up stuff about him. It's just very weird. It feels like they're just, saying, yeah, all that stuff you thought you knew about him last season, yeah, then none of that was true. He's actually just a really good guy who was the victim of, gossip rags and stuff. And it's just a very weird to just kind of rewrite the character this way.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I don't dislike him. It just does not seem to fit with what he was like in the first season. It's just a weird choice. So, yeah, but I honestly thought this, aside from that, this was a pretty solid episode. I was thinking, oh, good, we're getting to some interesting stuff now. Better than like the more recent stretch of episodes, because things are happening. We got to see Koichi doing some stuff, and well, actually, it was just Koichi, because Pop Step didn't really do much of anything, and Knuckle Duster I don't think was in this episode at all. So yeah, I guess it could work out there. But compared to what we've had recently, I will very gladly take all of this.
I think
all right, so
I think too this not the fault of the show, but the fact that we didn't get the dub episode for a couple weeks made me kind of lose focus on what the story was, what was going on, before this episode. So, it kind of lost some momentum thanks to the whole dubbing thing. So, that might be another reason why I didn't like it as much.
Okay. Yeah. Well, we've got 2 episodes left, so I'm hoping they'll be pretty decent. All right. So then we've got, for the end of these non-Toonami anime, we've got Solo Leveling episode 18. So the group gets captured and things look bad, but then Jinwoo just decides, well, I guess I'll, show that I'm actually super strong. And he does. And then he uses his army to fight against, what was his name? Kargalgen, I think his name is. And fights against them. And basically, what do you know? He wins because he's able to take the other guys, enemies, and turn them into his own shadow army. And then he does that with that guy also, who he names the much easier to pronounce Tusk. Actually, I think he literally says, what was his name again? And he can't remember and just calls him Tusk.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, and then everything's all good, and then they leave.
Yeah. So is this your classic wish fulfillment show that Sung Jinyu basically gets everything he wants, and it kind of reminds me of, the Eminence in Shadow and Overlord, that type of that time I got reincarnated as a slime, all that stuff. Wish fulfillment anime.
I wouldn't call it wish fulfillment exactly. I think the more accurate term is power fantasy.
Okay.
Wish fulfillment is a little more vague, and usually I think it's used for things happening in real life, like, oh, hey, what do you know? I met this girl and she loves me and now we're in a relationship. This is like power fantasy, and yes, it is totally a power fantasy. It's all about it's about how he gets to be the strongest guy basically in the room and beat people. I do like it more. I like it more than Overlord because at least he has to do some work to get to that point. But yeah, around this point, it really does just kind of feel like, yeah, he just kind of beats everything. I was kind of disappointed that that I keep forgetting her. I remember is the first one Hyane? Is that it's something Hayne? Something like is that how it's said? I can't remember how her name is said.
Hey
Yeah.
in.
Heian. Okay, that's everyone keeps calling her Hunter Chaw, so I can't remember. So
Yeah.
that's all I remember. Yeah, I was just disappointed she comes in, but she doesn't really get a chance to do much of anything. I would have preferred the fight if she had actually, contributed to the success a bit.
Well, what my problem with it is that she already has a crush on Jin Woo, or I don't know how to pronounce his name. Jin Woo. She already has a crush on him, and like that's where I get the wish fulfillment thing. It's like, wow, he already has this beautiful woman falling for him for no reason at all. It's not like he saved her one time. Like, it would be different if he had saved her from a certain death or something. He hasn't done that at all. And
Well,
yet
he's
she's
done
already
one.
got a crush on him.
Well, there's what he's done one. Well, he hasn't exactly done it, but there is one thing. He smells nice to her. That in fairness, like it does mention that most people smell kind of bad to her, but he smells nice. So there's that, I guess.
Yeah, that's not a valid reason in my book. You know, um, there should be something more to. I don't know. I'm going to be really disappointed if if she just kind of like completely falls head over heels in love with him without him ever really doing anything to deserve it. So, um, I'm preparing to be disappointed, but we'll find out.
General rule of thumb of solo leveling: never assume any much of anything will be a real obstacle for Janu.
Hmm.
That's that there are. I mean, to be fair, there are some stuff where like did have problems, but the farther the series goes on, the less problems he generally has with everything.
Also, did you notice his voice was even deeper this episode than the one before?
The
I
big
mean,
thing
every episode his voice gets deeper.
I didn't notice that exactly. I did notice that when he was speaking out loud, he sounded deeper than when he was thinking.
Hmm.
The other last thing I was noticing was the big monster guy. Did you have a bunch of trouble sometimes understanding what he was actually saying?
I had no clue what he was saying.
I had like closed captioning on so I could understand it. But yeah, a lot of times he was saying stuff, and I was thinking, well, what is this character saying? I remember I heard some people kind of complained about that. So yeah, it's like the jokes people made about Bane from The Dark Knight Rises. Did you ever see that movie?
No, I haven't.
But maybe you heard like a lot of people made jokes about how the fact Bane was kind of hard to understand when he talks. So there's all these parodies of him like just going like and stuff like that. Okay. All right, then we close off. We've got One Piece live action.
Wait.
Oh.
Are we going to do our favorites of the week?
Yeah, we can do that now to make sure we don't forget, like we sometimes
Like
almost.
you so often do. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, so for me, Blue Lock was my favorite Toonami show. Yu Yu Hakusho won for the non-Toonami, and Koto is my best girl of the week.
Well, for Toonami, yes, it's also Blue Lock. There wasn't a terrible amount of competition there.
Mm-hmm.
I guess Rooster Fighter was kind of fun, but definitely Blue Lock was tops. For the non-Toonami series, I think I will say My Hero Academia Vigilantes. I think that was the one I liked the most.
Okay.
All right. now we move on to One Piece live action episode 12. So yeah, they make it. Well, first they meet Robin, who is there to basically just say, "Hey, you should go to this other place," and they're like, "No," and she's like, "Okay, see ya." So then they end up going to their next destination, which is Little Garden, where there are dinosaurs and giants that, fight each other, who they make friends with. But then the giants get sabotaged by some of the Baroque Works members. Also, another one seems to have powers that make people act really weird. We don't know the specifics of it, but it kind of felt like I was watching a JoJo episode. Like characters just kind of start acting weird because of someone's attacked. And I'm just like thinking, this must be the work of an enemy stand, or devil fruit user in this case. But anyway, a bunch of our main characters do get captured by the bad guys, and that's essentially our episode, to summarize it quickly.
Yeah, I had a different opinion than you on this one. I was pretty disappointed. I I didn't really care for the giant thing at all. Like the giant thing that like none of the main characters were in danger during the giant fight. It was just like, okay, two giants are fighting each other, and then one of them kills the other one, but he didn't mean to. It's like, well, if you didn't mean to, then why did he stab him like that? If you didn't mean to kill him, you shouldn't have stabbed him. So that didn't make much sense to me. Most of the other stuff was pretty good. The characters were pretty fun, like Nami and pretty much everyone besides Luffy had some pretty funny moments in this episode. So, yeah, I thought it was, an above average episode, but I differ from you because I feel this was the weakest of the season so far.
I thought it was the second best. I think I put it only behind the second episode, the one with Laboon. Maybe it's a total coincidence, but I noticed that my two favorite episodes this season so far have been the stuff that I didn't actually read or watch before. Like I said, I originally watched this on the 4Kids dub when it aired like so many years ago, and they just skipped over this arc for some unclear reason. And I never like read like the manga from the beginning. So this is I kind of know some of the general stuff from this, but I haven't seen this. So maybe that's the reason, or maybe it's a coincidence. Two comments I wanted to make. One, this one is called Big Trouble in Little Garden, which I think is like that's a great title. I like the way it's both a spoof on Big Trouble in Little China, but it also just works perfectly. It's there in Little Garden, and there's Big Trouble because you got the giants. That's a really clever name. The other thing is that the giants are from Elbath, and that's something that they visit way later. And I always think, oh, did they mention that originally? So I looked it up and said, yes, they mentioned being from Elbath originally, but the live action, when I say originally, I'm meaning the manga, but the live action did have them go to more detail about it. So, with stuff we learned later. And by the way, if anyone's wondering, I mentioned they reached there way later. Well, if you want to know how much later, well, One Piece anime is coming back, and this arc is going to be called One Piece Elbath. So yeah, very far into the future, because that's what the anime is doing right now. Like the Japanese airing of the anime. I mean, we're still well behind that on Toonami. Yep. Okay. That's basically the episode. Yeah, I thought it was pretty solid. There's a few things I could maybe criticize, but I don't want to go on my thing where I just go on and on and on about the One Piece live action episodes. I'll just want to make the biggest notes and move on. Okay. Yep. Okay. So that's it there. I get this is also the first cliffhanger of the season, because all the previous episodes just kind of resolved their arc in one episode. This time we're going to be continuing, so we'll see. I don't know the specifics about what happened here, because I don't know the specifics of the manga, and I definitely don't know what they might change in the live action. All I know is that there's at least one character who survives in the manga who dies in this. So we'll see.
Uh-huh.
I'm not sure which character it was though.
Uh-huh.
So we'll see. Okay. All right, that's it then. I think we're done. Anything else to talk about?
Well, I'm continuing my watch through Sailor Moon, and I discovered today that if I stay at a pace of reviewing one episode every 2 days, then I'll finish the entire series on December 31st. So I'm at a good spot to make it through all 200 episodes. I want to do this because I never ever watched the whole thing through. I've watched bits and pieces of different seasons, and I want to finally see the whole thing. And I'm still back on R, which is like the second longest season. So it isn't as bad as some of those episodes we saw on Toonami Rewind. The only problem is that Chibiusa is extremely annoying, and she's basically become the new main character, because like her emotions are basically made to be the most important, and everything centers around her, and it's pretty aggravating. And I know that in Super S, which is after S, which is after R, Super S is it gets really bad bad when it comes to her, with the focus on her. So overall, there have been bad episodes, there have been good episodes. It's been a mixed bag. And the other thing I wanted to talk about is that I plan on watching a very old anime for the first time in my life, because of some things that I've been reading. I am going to try to watch the original Digimon, which I never watched as a kid and never got into. Well, I decided that I'm going to bite the bullet and try to watch the original series, the the 90s version, not the 2020 remake, which I considered, but hold on a second. Does it have a dub or not? I don't know.
The original.
No, the 2020, the 2020 remake.
I'm not sure. Let me see. I don't actually know if is there like some site where you can just go to find out. Maybe if I look, maybe I can look at maybe one way to see is just to look at like the cast list and see if there's like one listed for English. Like let me check and see if I can find that on say like Anime News Network or something. Let's see, Digimon, and they both got the same name just to be confusing.
Yeah.
Okay, am I looking at the original or the remake here? Okay. The 2020. Let me see. Does it say anything about like an English cast here? It looks like Yeah, it looks like there is a dub of it. It was they didn't like release it until years afterwards, but it looks like in 2023 they premiered one, or at least I'm seeing an article talking about it premiering. I don't know what's it's on. It was on
Because Crunchyroll has it, but only as sub. So
it might be on what series? I feel like I remember it being on Hulu sometime, but or am I thinking about or am I thinking of the original one? Yeah, who has Digimon Adventure? It says Crunchyroll has it streaming, Toei Animation. I feel like I remember Digimon something being on Hulu, but I might be thinking of the original one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I don't know where you would find where the dub is exactly, if there's one, but I don't. Yeah, I'm not going to like make the listener
don't
just
worry
listen to us
about it.
figure this out. We can look into it ourselves later.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I just didn't want to like be putting the listeners through us just muttering around and trying to figure it out. Okay, I think Hulu might have it because I am seeing that they added Digimon Adventure, so it might have the dub. If you want to double check, you could check Hulu. I don't have it right now, but I think you do. So
yeah.
So that's basically that. And yeah, if you watch the original dub, oh man, that's going to be like 90s cheese there. not even like necessarily in a bad way. I know some people look back with some fondness of some of the cheesiness of the dub, like some of the some of the characters what was it? The one that was like the egg. I feel like that one they gave it a voice that was supposed to be like a spoof on Peter Lorre or something. So that kind of stuff. But yeah, I don't have. Well, we're at the point where we're stammering. So did you have anything else to say?
No, I'm just saying I'm going to be watching that and see. I'm not going to be doing reviews on my blog for it, but I'm going to find out what it was like for the first time. So wish me luck.
Yeah, I watched that way back in the day, and I can't remember that much of it. I remembered some stuff just because I've watched people talking about it and stuff later on. But I remember it being, from what I remember, it kind of was a bit repetitive for a while, but then it did get more interesting, especially once they finished with what was his name? After Myotismon gets introduced, that's like the part where I think the series starts getting it's kind of more into its own thing. But I think it was still decent before that. Okay. Yep,
okay.
That's it.
Sorry.
Yeah, that's it. We'll see how that goes. But for now, everyone, we'll be closing off. We will once again have 2 episodes of Yu Yu Hakusho to watch and 1 episode of the rest of our non-Toonami series. And we'll see you next week.
Bye.
What is this place?
Come on, I want to see what's on the other side.
Chihiro didn't like adventures.
Wait for me!
But on her way to becoming the new girl in a new town, a wrong turn trapped her in the spirit world with no hope of escape. And unless she can remember her name, she'll be a slave forever.
Let's go!
Now, she must learn the rules of a dangerous new reality, save her parents,
Dad!
and find her way back home.
What would you like?
I would like to leave, sir.
Along the way, she may just discover what it means to be human.
Haku!
What's going on?
It's called love.
Toonami is proud to present the Academy Award-winning film Spirited Away, Saturday night at 7:30. Part of a month of Miyazaki. Don't sleep on it.
Is this a dream? Is this a dream?
Only Toonami on Cartoon Network.
Flash.